Welcome back to Aw Ship, a team building focused podcast. This is episode 17. I'm here to talk through and work through a very special and important subject for all companies, all businesses, large or small. Building a better team with the customer in mind. This is missing from everyday life. These companies, these employees are forgetting who is actually paying the bills and salaries of that company that individual works for. You see it every day. Trust me. Thank you to everybody that has given me feedback. Any feedback is welcome. You can reach me at the email address above, or just drop me a line here on Facebook or LinkedIn or even YouTube. Thank you very much for all the suggestions so far. Keep them coming. RA Enterprises is here to help everyone. Anybody can learn. Anybody can be helped by others around you. Over the years as the Director of Operations at Premier Logistics Partners, I've learned how a good team can impact others with just harnessing what that team has together. RA Enterprises is how I'm giving back to others, helping others, serving others. And at the same time, it's making me a better person, a better employee, a better boss, and a better father to my children. I'm going to lay out this one a little different. Usually I do rip from headlines. I'm going to kick that to possibly next week or the next episode. But I want to jump into something that has become pivotal that I've noticed is missing in a lot of organizations. And the way that we think about how to build a team and how to prop up a team, whether or not it's your direct team, your direct reports, or if it's across the organization. But practice and training, right? You have to look at all of these major sporting teams. You have to, anything from football to baseball, professional golf, lacrosse, cheerleading. They all take practice. They all train. From time to time, they have scrimmages against each other. Well, something's happening here in a few weeks that happens every 4 years, and got off track a little bit for COVID, but the Olympics are back. These are amateur athletes that practice and train over and over and over again at their craft. Whether or not it's basketball or shot put or long distance running or gymnastics or water polo, or my personal favorite in the summer games, synchronized swimming. It takes practice and training to get that good. Think about that for a minute, right? How is it that your team can do better? How is it that you can get better? Well, simply put, practicing and training. Sometimes there's tutorials you can get through your business. Your software platforms or programs will offer different tutorials and videos for you to watch, which is really important. But even paying attention to podcasts like my podcast here at Aw Ship, right? I'm giving helpful information that is hopefully it's going to help grow teams and make teams bigger and better, so that the consumer or whoever's receiving that good or service or item will then have more of a positive reaction to that. It's definitely missing. I've noticed a few things within my own company that we could sharpen our pencil on or sharpen our scissors, depending on which analogy you want to use when it comes to that. I really do think that people take training and practice for granted, right? It sort of started back during the school year with my oldest daughter. She understands what she's doing, but at the same time, she's behind a little bit. And when you ask her to do some stuff, she just does the bare minimum sometimes. Not all the time. She's really good at going deep. But think about that in your own personal, professional life. Have you gone deep in a specific subject or interest? Have you gone deep in understanding a process at your business or at, with your software? Our TMS provider tells us a lot that most of their customers don't use a lot of the system. The old analogy, 20% of the workers do 80% of the work. Well, think about that. How can you, as an individual team member, influence your other team members? What could you do to make your team stronger and better? Think about little daily things that you could do. Pop quiz each other. Ask each other this, that, or whatever. I think, again, we look at training. We think it has to be formal. It has to be in a said subject, and it's a start and finish. And you got to be, in a cubby or off the side or in a conference room. But really, training is every single day on the job. Training and practice is every day. Communication and talking within the team and within not just the individual team unit, but across the organization. If you are doing that in your organization, it makes you guys stronger. And the product or service that you're giving to your customer is going to be noticeable. When you can fire off answers to a customer as quick as I'm snapping right now, hopefully that comes out all right on the sound, but if you can rattle those off, the customer is going to receive that as confidence in whatever's being asked and then answered by you. If you don't have a direct reply, that can come off like, I wonder what's really going on over there. And you don't want that. You want your customers to understand that you understand their problem, their concern, their order, their process, their customer. So dive into that. That's part of practicing and training. It's not just the ABCs, 1, 2, 3s. It's also research and train yourself on your customers. Understand, and I'm sorry, my phone keeps going off because of our Ring camera out front, so I apologize for that. But think about that. Think about how you can train and practice and immerse yourself in your customer. When you do that and you start talking their language, when they have that 30-second phone call with you, when they have that 2-hour meeting with you, if they see that you understand them, that is pivotal and key. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's going to be perfect 100% of the time. I'm not. It's never great and perfect 100% of the time. There's only one person that is. But practice. Train. Get some books out. Read some books. I haven't pulled them out in a while. They're over here on the side of my desk. I haven't pulled them out and really talked to you guys about them, but think about it. Raving Fans and The Fish Philosophy. Just a couple books that I've wrapped into these podcasts. But both of these books right here are part of practicing and training. For me. Because I've read these. Nobody made me read them. I just was like, hey, I want to learn. I want to train. I want to practice. When you introduce books and things into your team environment, and then you come together as a group to talk about them, that strengthens your team. It builds them up. And it's also training. You got to think about different things when you are training. Are you training for a purpose? Are you training for a process? Are you training for a customer? Think about the different things that you are training on. Is there something that your company is weak in? Or your department is weak in? Or you're weak in personally? Think about that. Think about how those things then sprinkle across the board to others. Because you want to fill the gaps. Practicing and training is filling the gaps. If you are a swimmer, let's just go, I'll throw Michael Phelps into this. I mean, he's not swimming anymore. Probably could, but he's not. He won a bunch of gold medals a bunch of years ago. But at times, he had a weakness. And he worked, and he worked, and he worked. And he trained, and he trained, and he trained. Day after day, week after week, year after year. It made him one of the most decorated gold medalists of all time. You don't get somewhere without training. You don't get somewhere without practicing. Why is it that football teams have practice? Why do they have spring practice and spring game for colleges? It's practice. Practice makes perfect, right? The old analogy, the old saying. You just got to keep on. Keep up that self-education. that team education, that group education. Sooner or later, it will benefit you across the board. You might not see it right away. It might take you 2-3 weeks. It might take you 2-3 years. If you're trying to completely do a 180 of your business culture, that can take some time. So just remember that as you're going through your week. What small little things can you do to make your team better, make your group better? And I guarantee you will have a lot more success. Success is key for everything. Success of your team is vital. Why is it vital? If you are building a car and your team of building that car, and those people out there that work the lines at a major manufacturer, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher this, but I'm just trying to make a point here. If your team are door hangers and you are one of 4 people to hang doors on a 4-door car, and you don't put your door on, as that continues down the conveyor, down the line, if the next group is supposed to put door handles on the doors that were hung by your team, that 4-door car that gets down the line will all of a sudden have 3 doors. What's that 4th person on that other team going to do? They're going to be stuck there holding a handle. Success of your team is pivotal by training. Training and reviewing and practice. Beating a dead horse here for a reason. You see this in a lot of different areas where training has evolved or where training is lacking. The biggest way you can tell that somebody is trained or not, just go out to a restaurant or bar. Order a margarita. Or, I mean, you could do a Tom Collins or a Manhattan. Just choose one. And watch the way that drink is made by that bartender. A good bartender will do it. Then go back the next day. Hopefully there's a different bartender in this example. Order the same drink. See if it's made exactly the same way. In a good restaurant or bar, the answer is going to be yes. Because a margarita has the exact same ingredients. Now, you can change flavor on it. You can have strawberry. You can have several other ones. But a traditional margarita has the same ingredients, the same portions, no matter what bar or bartender you go to. If that bar or bartender doesn't train, that drink comes out different. Think about a cook or an expediter in a restaurant. You want your food to come out, look, A, cooked the same, but B, looking the same each time. No matter if it's your plate that you ordered, your wife's plate, your kid's plates, your friend Johnny's plate, whoever. You might order the same exact steak at medium rare. And it might come out on the plate different. It might actually be cooked to a different temperature. It takes practice to be able to cook a steak to medium rare every time to the right temp each time. It's not something that you just waltz into a restaurant or a kitchen and just whip it together. It doesn't happen that way. But the other part of training is retraining. Make sure you come back to those items periodically. Once somebody is trained, they're going to be doing the job. They're going to be doing the task. They're going to be creating or hanging that door. But within the car industry, those models change a little bit. Those bolts change a little bit. The placement of the hinges change a little bit. So evolving your training and bringing back older subjects to retrain and or train new people is vital as well. Don't forget about that. Training is just not one time. If you're training one time and then it's the wolves, you're going to fail your team. You're going to fail your group. You're going to fail your customer. When you fail your customer, that customer's going. Say, bye, customer. Bye. When you fail them. You don't want to fail them. You want to treat them like they're kings. You want to deliver that +1, right? Go that extra 10, 20, 30%. Challenge your team to read books outside of work. Challenge your team members to watch a YouTube video or to watch something, a short on LinkedIn, right? The more you interact, training, and practice into your everyday culture, the stronger everybody's going to be. And you as a leader, you as a department head, you as a vice president, you as an owner of a company, if you have that in your makeup and your environment of your team and your culture and your business, you're just going to continue to win. And winning is what we want. We don't want to lose. Losing means that customer goes by. You go ahead and wave at them. Bye, Mr. Customer. Bye, Mrs. Customer. Have fun over at Spacely Sprockets or Cogwell Cogs. Think about the Jetsons. Right? I just brought those two references. That's because that's how fickle customers can be. Again, I sort of rambled a little bit, and I changed the format of this one a little bit, but look, I see it. I see it across the board, and I've experienced it in the last 2 weeks in my personal life where practicing and training makes perfect. I went in and I saw something and I was horrified by it. And then it reminded me just how good people can be. Baseball teams practice for a reason. Basketball teams practice for a reason. Golfers train and practice for a reason. I'm going to call it this, the quote of the week, which is not really a quote of the week because I'm not going to do that this week, is literally practice makes perfect. If you can practice and make things perfect, if you can practice and make things better, make that experience for your customer better, I'm done here. Because that will make you better, makes your business better, makes your team better, and ultimately your customer is going to be ecstatic about that. Ecstatic, over the moon. So keep that in mind as you go through the week. I appreciate it. And as always, if you have any feedback, let me know. I would love to talk to anybody out there that would like to talk about how I put different things into my company and into the team and how we're going to continue to just make things better across the board for our customers. Please follow me here on YouTube or on LinkedIn. I hope everybody has a blessed week. Thank you for watching and listening. Until next episode, bye-bye.